Hey, this is Naomi Johnson. I'm the founder and the head troublemaker at House of Mischief, and I'm sitting here with Mac Trace. Who is Naomi Johnson? She is a fighter. She is a dreamer, and she is a fucking Gemini. She's finding herself. She's a woman finding herself, and she's okay with that. And she's excited about her journey. And she's Naomi Johnson is just looking to bring everybody with her that she can on her journey because she knows it's going to be exciting, nonetheless. House of Mischief is this this fun house. It's this free space. It's it's just a world of dreams for young black women. It's just a place where my sisters can come and just be themselves, and they can feel comfortable being themselves. They can talk about all their fears, everything that they're afraid of, everything that they're looking forward to. It's just a place where we can learn from each other. It's a place where my sisters can learn, they can become self-aware, and they can just have the best fucking time of their life doing it. Because that's what life is about. It's about learning as you grow, but enjoying every moment of it. And that's what House of Mischief is. It's, about being in control, but it's also about having a good time. When I talk about my sisters, I'm talking about women who look like me. I'm talking about when we share this. We share, common skin, and of course, black skin, it ranges, from all ends of the spectrum. But I'm talking about women who identify as being black and brown. So when I'm talking about my sisters, I'm talking about the women who we share very similar stories and very similar backgrounds. Our families tell very similar stories, and we understand each other. Because as much as we try to ignore each other while we're walking past each other on the street, sometimes we don't realize that woman you just walk past and you side eye her, you looked her up and down, like she's going through some of the same shit that you're going through. And that is what connects us, is that, that spiritual bond that we don't even, sometimes we try to ignore and we don't realize that it's there. But our ancestors connect us. And the fact that we have common blood, we're sisters, we're family, whether we want to admit it or not. So that's why, I choose to acknowledge other black women as my sisters. House of Mischief was officially incorporated in 2013, and I feel crazy for saying that because, something we'll talk about later, but I incorporated an idea in 2013. I wanted to make sure that nobody could copy from that, but it was nothing like what it is now. As it was when I first established the House of Mischief, when I had this grand idea, this fucking circus that I wanted to put together for black women. It's nothing like what it is now. House of Mischief was supposed to be this place that it was supposed to be an event planning company. And when I first started it, I wanted to take women who had, specifically black and brown women, who I wanted to celebrate black and brown women. I wanted to take women who hadn't necessarily been celebrated themselves, who maybe didn't celebrate themselves, individually. And I wanted to give them that opportunity to shine for a day. Like, I just envisioned, like, coming to America. Like, the crowd just parts and you have this woman on, the Chase Lounge, and she has, like, all these men carrying her in. I wanted women to experience that feeling of being majestic and feeling like it's all about me. And that's what it was. In 2012 and 2013, when I incorporated it, I thought that I was going to be planning events. I was going to be planning birthday parties and baby showers and bachelorette parties and retirement parties. And I just wanted to celebrate our women because everything that I had been through, I just knew that we don't celebrate ourselves enough. We don't, we don't take that time to say, yo, I'm the shit. I deserve a motherfucking festival. So if that's what my idea was in 2013. What makes House of Mischief so different is definitely that spiritual aspect. That the fact that we work so hard to make sure that everybody in our events, in our community period, feels welcome and feels like they are enough. And not just because of, some self-confidence or, know your worth, but just because that we all come from the same bloodlines. That we all share these similar stories. And I keep talking about that because it's deep and it's real. And it's that, where we can't separate each other because of, whatever it is, skin tones or Greek fraternities or, what island you got dropped off, after the Middle Passage. It's the fact that there's a spiritual aspect. There's not many women's empowerment organizations that you're going to go to, and they're all great in their, in their own lane, but there's not many women's empowerment events that you're going to go to where before we start anything, before anything pops off, we got to stand up, we got to hold hands, and we have to pour a libation. We have to acknowledge our ancestors before we do anything. And that's an experience that a lot of women, majority of the women who come to my events, have never experienced in their lives. So I would say that's something that definitely sets my organization apart, is that we honor the whole, I want to say we honor that whole spectrum. And just the fact that women feel comfortable. It's not so much of, I got to put my networking face on and I got to be, I got to be cute and, professional and something that, a whole facade that I may not be feeling right now. You can be who the hell you are. And that's what House of Mischief is about. It's about being true to yourself. And I hate that phrase. It's about just being who you are and knowing that the women around you are not going to judge you for that. And I feel like I have created a safe space for women to be around. The biggest hurdle I had to overcome was losing my mom. Definitely. Because even now, there's no way I would have ever imagined doing an interview and not having my mother to run to afterwards and tell her, oh my God, Mom, I just did an interview. It was so great. Oh my God. And this is going to happen. That was the biggest hurdle, is that I always imagined my mom to be there. Just, that was the biggest hurdle because my mom was my best friend. She was the cornerstone of everything I ever wanted to do. Any idea I had, like, I ran it past my mom before I had it, before I executed it. And she told me, like, yo, it was a go. And that is the biggest hurdle, just being self-sufficient and, having to stand on your own 2 feet, knowing that, you don't have that safety net, that, just that partner, that ride or die who don't judge you. And I think that's probably why I'm so, I want to say fearless, because my mom thought I was Superwoman. My mother thought I could do anything. So I keep that with me all the time. If I see it, I can do it. But that has been the biggest hurdle. It's just because this world is huge. When you don't have your parents behind you, you realize just how many miles and how much space this earth takes up, and you realize just how small you are as a human being when you are by yourself. When you're just you're a molecule in this huge system of things. You don't have your parents around you. And I mean, that has, that's been a a hurdle, but it's also been a stepping stone because, you know, if I didn't lose my parents, if I didn't lose my mom, I don't know, would House of Mischief be what it is now? Would it, you know, would it be, I might still just be planning birthday parties, you know? So that is definitely the biggest thing that I had to get over, and I'm still getting over it. I have grown as an individual because I now understand that the power is in me. Like, it's not about mommy and daddy says I can. Now it's about proving yourself. It's about having these big ideas and going for it, whether anybody else says your shit is popping or it's not. So it has given me this self-reliance. It's given me this hustler's mentality, this spirit that says, I'm dope. Even though nobody else is here to reaffirm that. It's really, you know, stepping out on your own, you know, your own ideas. That's how I've grown as an individual. As a businesswoman, it's kind of, I want to say it's connected. But when you're a businesswoman, and especially when you're the forefront of your business, you have to learn that you're not, that your worth is not determined by your customer and what they want to pay. So as a businesswoman, sometimes it hurts a little bit, you know, and sometimes it can be a false, you know, battery in your back when somebody doesn't want to pay you what you asked them for, and when somebody wants to pay you more than what you asked them for. But you have to find this common ground. So as a businesswoman, you have to know that your self-worth and your value is not determined by your customer. So that's what I've had to learn being on my own and being in business, is that is that it's not about what other people think of you. If you can go to sleep at night feeling like I'm great at what I do, or just I'm great and I haven't even discovered what the fuck I do, is that my self-worth is still here, regardless of how much money I'm pulling in every month. Because you can get lost in that, and you'll lose yourself right before your big, that big break is coming. As a mentor, how I have grown, I don't think I've grown at all as a mentor. No, I should say I've always felt like the idea of a role model, it just sucked, because that's where we lose ourselves. I feel like, specifically, I'm talking about Black women, we get so caught up in trying to be a role model for other people around us, in the world in itself, and just being this model, but we be falling apart on the inside, and nobody is healed that way. When you're not allowed the space to be yourself and really dig into what's going on with me. I need to fix this. You can't be you can be a role model, but what are those girls who are looking at you? What are they really learning? They're learning a facade. So me being a mentor now to women my age and women older than me and girls younger than me, it's that aspect of being yourself and falling apart if you have to. Like, falling apart in front of the cameras, if that's what you got to do for other people to feel safe in falling apart their goddamn selves, and, feeling like they have the space to rebuild themselves. And, if whatever it is that you're dealing with, just knowing that it's okay. Just knowing that, people are judging. I'm not going to say nobody's judging you, but fuck them if they are judging you, because they going through shit themselves too. So it's just that whole ideal of being a role model. I've learned that I can accomplish so much more being myself and showing that to these girls who I'm mentoring than being something fake and being, this plastic coating, because they don't learn nothing from that. They learn when I tell them everything I've been through. That's when those girls, they have their aha moments, when they're like, oh my God, damn, she had an abortion too? And she's still popping? Oh, damn, she didn't graduate college either? And she still got shit going for her? When I break shit down about your imperfections and my flaws, that's when I'm able to really connect with people. The biggest milestone I've reached so far is that the darling just fucking own it vision board party that never happened. But people don't know that that was supposed to be my coming out party. That was supposed to be House of Mischief's like big bang, and it never happened. But what I learned from that was that one, your mentors are not always right. Because I was told not to have that party from the day I thought of the idea. I wanted to have this big production around vision boarding, which was something that is not done. Usually, vision board parties are done in a nice little community centers. You got the tables laid out, and you got the plastic table coverings, and you got boards, and you got magazines, and you got women. And I wanted to do this full fucking circus, and I wanted, just shit swinging from the ceilings. I wanted, the belly dancers, and I wanted all of this stuff, all these multiple parts. And I was told not to have that. I was told that vision board parties are so done. Nobody cares about vision boards. It's over. It's whack. And I sold out of that event. As I was canceling, I was on the little Eventbrite canceling orders. I was refunding orders, and I was getting orders pouring in. And I sold out the same night I was canceling it because the pipes broke in the venue, and I wasn't able to have the event anymore because of the venue, falling through. But that was my biggest milestone because it showed me that you know what's good for your company more than anybody else does. And of course, there's room for error, but you understand your vision more than anybody does. I know what my peer group needed. And it was proven to me that my ideas are dope. Don't question me. Like, and I'm going into another question. What makes a strong business owner? You have to be a fighter. I've realized, you have to believe in your shit more than anybody else does. Like, the whole reason that you go into business for yourself is because you see something that's missing. You see that, there's something here you want to do differently. That you see that there's something I can offer that nobody else is offering. There's something missing. So you feel that void. But because you're filling a void, you're creating something that nobody has ever seen before. You got to know that people are going to, not only are people going to question your shit, but there are going to be some people who try their hardest to shut your shit down. They try to shoot it down as much as they can for all kind of reasons we could talk about another time. But you have to fight for your business. And I've learned that in every sense of the word, you got to be a fighter. You have to fight yourself sometimes, because sometimes you want to give up yourself. Stuff ain't working out the way you planned. You just don't understand. Sometimes you question yourself. You're like, why am I doing this? Why don't I just go back to being a bartender? Like, it was so much easier. So you have to fight yourself. You got to fight other people and their ideas for you. Even people who think they're doing, they're offering you good suggestions. But just pretty much you have to be in this for the long haul. You got to put your dukes up, because you're the only person that's going to fight for your vision as much as you are. Nobody else understands your vision. So you have to be willing to go to battle for it. I've learned, I had times where I had to defend the name of my company. I know what my name stands for, but I've had people tell me that, it's negative, it's seductive, it's too sexual and yada, yada, yada. But the women who have experienced House of Mischief understand what it means. And those are the people that I care about. Those are people who I'm fighting for. So it's like, you really have to, this is your kid. You got to go to bat for your baby. Otherwise, you'll give up before you even get started. The biggest piece of advice I could give to someone starting their own women's empowerment organization period, that you are not a business until you have products or services. Until you are selling something, you are not a business. You are a brand. You have an idea. You have a mission. You have slogans and all that cute stuff. You got colors and, you got a logo. That's great. But until you have something that people exchange money for with you, you are not a business. I wish somebody would have told me that, because it's not until, You know, I was doing events here and there. I was doing little cutesy ladies night in and yada, yada, yada. But it's only this year that I got apparel. I got, you know, t-shirts and bodysuits. I have a workshop that you got to buy tickets to at least once a month. You know, I have courses. I have coaching services where I'm teaching people everything that I've known. And that is now when you got cash flow. Otherwise, you're pretty much just an idea. God, yo, 2017 is like, I can't wait. Like, I'm so done with 2016. Like, I just can't wait for 2017. We're going to Cancun in May. That's the founder's birthday. That's me. So we're gonna be celebrating my birthday with like 15,000 other young Black professionals that are doing it big. And we're gonna be out there for about 6 days. We're gonna be doing 16 parties non-stop, just straight through. And you guys can we're accepting deposits for that now, and we got installment plans, so everybody that want to go turn up can do that. I got my workshop that I'm doing at least once a month. I do my workshop. I Came to Slay, and that's just for Black women that they just need something better. They need something more, and I Came to Slay has been amazing, and that's just where you're gonna do some rediscovering. Whatever you thought was real life, you're gonna come to this workshop and you are going to have to debunk everything and build it all back up. You're gonna be crying, you're gonna be laughing, you're gonna be talking some shit. You're gonna leave this workshop just thinking about your life in a completely different way. That is going on, and I'm also gonna be doing an online course. So I'm starting I Came to Slay University, so that after you leave I Came to Slay the in-person workshop, you can also, you know, you can do it at home, and you can, because everybody leaves like, all right, so what's next? Because I gotta do something. So I'm launching an online course before this year is over, and look for me at some speaking engagements. I'm gonna, like I told you earlier, it's all about telling your story and really engaging people. So I'm doing a panel discussion. I got some teenage girls that I'm teaching in high schools, so I'm looking forward to seeing how their lives will change with this program. And I think that's pretty much it. We got the Mischief 101 series in the works. That's going to be dope. That's not until next spring, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. And just look for House of Mischief at www.houseofmischief.rocks. And just be on the lookout if you have any services that you can offer, any way that we can continue this work of showing our women that this ain't life, that this ain't it. There is so much more available to us if we just help each other, if we just share our experiences, and we can all get money, we can get paid, we can have good sex, and we can we can see the world. And